Well, hello, it's Peter Gary here from Remax Island Realty. I'm here with my Friday figures, and today I'm going to be looking at the September update. So every month, the Hilton Head area of realtors produces some reports based off of the MLS. Those numbers are only available right now to August, but I've cranked my own numbers to show you where the market's going. So let's look first at prices. So this is just a starting point here. The average price on Hilton Head now is up 21%. And that's another increase over here from another 20-some percent. But if you look overall, it's an average growth of 50%. So you can't beat that in the stock market. But let's break that number down a little bit more because there's more to it than that. So a little bit of an eye chart here. But what you see is here in 2021, year to date, to September, the same number you saw on the previous page was 21% growth. Now you can see residents, that's the detached homes, are at a 27% increase, and villas are only 18%. So what you're seeing is the demand for residents is higher than demand for villas, and that's been pretty consistent through COVID because people are looking to have more space. A lot of times these villas or condos just have a single room or a long room. There's not a lot of division of space, so if people are working from home, going to school from home, they need that space. And so there's been a greater demand for residences. So even though there's a big pricing difference, the average price per square foot is pretty similar between these two. So it really indicates that there's a demand increase. And you can see that this whole column is the maximum price paid now for any particular property. And it's 9.9 million in residences, 3.2 in villas. But so you can see residents are driving the overall cost. Now, if you look at the next key figure is days on the market. And if you follow me, you'll see that I typically look at days on the market in the first week. So in this year and last year, we are now selling pretty much 50% of the properties in the first week. That's way up from like the previous years where it was about 15%. So this is a dramatic change. Now, what we also see, though, is March was kind of the most incredible moment. You have 2.7 days on the market. We're now creeping up. Month by month, we're just creeping up. And so now we're up to 3.8. Doesn't look like a big change, but what it is it's a great indicator of the market that we're heading towards slowing down, cooling down some. Now, not only is the market cooling down because there's just not as many people down here, so the activity is decreasing. These are our slower months anyway, but it's also showing demand is decreasing some as COVID gets under control a little bit more. Now, the last chart I want to show you, now this is going to be an eye chart, so prepare yourself. As I've said before, if you know, you know. If you follow me, I always have to have one crazy chart. So this is now looking at, so we saw that there's an increase in price. We saw that there's an increase in the number of days on the market. Now let's look at the actual specific areas of where that's being driven from. And so what I've listed here about, these are the top areas on Hilton Head. And if you follow me, I don't use Moss Creek and I don't use the Gatherings. These are both off the island. So when I look at it, I'm only looking at it on the island. And what you see here is this is the average price per area from lowest to highest. What this number is the percent change from last year. So taking for an example, Hilton Head General, which means it's not in any particular community, it's been 22% increase in prices since last year. Now that's a significant number because there's over 500 sales this year in this area alone. Another key one is Palmetto Dunes, 28% increase, and Sea Pines, 29% increase. Those three areas represent the majority of all these sales, and so they're the real drivers here. But there are some significant laggards. If you look in Forest Beach, which, Forest Beach had almost 300 sales so far this year, it's below the 21% average that we've been seeing throughout this presentation. Other laggards here are Indigo Run, Port Royal, and then Spanish Wells. But Spanish Wells is an anomaly. There are only 16 sales this year. It's 2.3. Everything's kind of pretty much on the water. So it's just really kind of throws off the numbers a little bit, or the chart doesn't throw the numbers off because it's just a small number. But what you see is the laggards here versus the areas that are really growing And the most significant one you see is 46% with Windmill Harbor. So it's interesting to see what areas are really people are still have high demand for. And it doesn't surprise me that Sea Pines and Palmetto Dunes, which are the premium beachfront areas, they have the highest demand. So in summary, when we look at the September numbers, you're seeing that demand is continuing to outstrip supply. Prices are jumping 21% year to date and 52% since 2019. And this increase in prices you saw was driven by residences of 27% and only 18% for condos. And again, people want more space. Days on the market, as we said, September at 3.8 is showing a trend that we're seeing some cooling. And then lastly, the areas that are really behind in the growth are Indigo Run, Port Royal, Wexford, and Spanish Wells. So buyers, you should be focusing on these areas below 21%. Sellers, you should be taking advantage of this demand while it's still here. And if you need any help finding a realtor, if you need any help with any information on the island, don't hesitate to contact me. Everybody have a great weekend. Look forward to you next Friday.